Welcome back to Lock It In. We're back for season 2, and if you watched last year, you know what this is all about. We got Cobbs over there in North Carolina, we got Clark over there in Royal Oak, and myself, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina this season. We're back for season 2, Lock It In. We're going to start off with some hot takes for the 2024 season. Cobbs, Clark.
So, yeah, welcome back. New season. We're on. Cameron, congratulations on the move. Engagement. Big year for you. And it's a big year for Josh Allen. He lost his best friend receiver, Stephon Diggs. Hot take, he's going to win MVP. That's my hot take for the season. He's criminally underrated. Everyone complains about his turnovers and all this. He's got the most turnovers. He also has the most touchdowns responsible for. In games that he has one turnover or less, they win over 80% of the time. The rest of the league is hitting it less than 60%. This guy's just got to somewhat keep it together. They make the playoffs. If they can win 11, 12 games, win that division, good division in the AFC East, that's your MVP as far as I'm concerned.
He does. Josh Allen definitely puts a team on his back more than any other quarterback, I think.
I mean, he'll throw you out of a game, but he'll throw you right back into it just like that. So he makes plays. Doing it without Diggs, I think, would prove a lot. I love the value on it.
Yeah, my take is I think the Titans are going to be the 2022 Detroit Lions. It's a team that not a lot of people have faith in, led by a second-year quarterback in Will Levis. However, they've been beefing up the offensive line in the draft the last 2 years. Just added Tony Pollard to Tyjae Spears in the backfield. They've bolstered their passing weapons. I think their defense is going to be solid enough to be able to keep them in the race. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I definitely think they're going to start slow. There's going to be some growing pains, but I think by the end of the season, it's going to be a well-oiled machine on offense. It's going to keep them in a lot of games.
Who's their coach now?
They got the OC from Cincinnati.
Oh, what's his name? Callahan?
Oh, yeah, Brian Callahan.
Callahan? Yeah, I mean, Vrabel's gone, but the Titans have always been, low-key, I don't know, sneaky in a way. Will Levis is actually – I really like him, even though he's a weird guy. He's got a lot of dog in him. And they have added a decent amount of weapons, I think. That's not a bad take, Clark. So 2022, Lions kind of started slow, ended up winning a lot of back half of the season, and then 23 is where they really took off. So you think the 25 Titans are going to the AFC Championship, is what you're telling me.
It's a possibility.
I don't think you went that far. He just said they were going to sneaky win 8 or 9 games, I think, right?
Yeah, I think they could backdoor the way into a winning season.
Yeah,
okay.
That division's wild, too, because, everyone wrote it off for the Jags last year, and then it was wide open. And then this year, everyone's writing off for the Texans. And I still think it's really wide open. So I kind of love the idea behind taking the bottom of that division.
I'll stick in the AFC. My hot take is that the Bengals, first of all, Bengals are going to win the AFC North. I know the Ravens are probably the favorite. No. I love the Bengals this year. I think Joe Burrow is winning comeback player of the year. And I think Jamar Chase obviously has, contract negotiations right now, but I think he or Tyreek Hill could win offensive player of the year. And Burrow and Chase have been together since college. And I have the Cat Bowl, the Bengals in the AFC, and the Detroit Lions in the NFC for the Super Bowl. But I think Burrow and Jamar Chase are due for a great year.
Yeah, they say on the field, I think that's all very tangible. I think the Ravens are the favorite, but the value on the Bengals, the only reason the Bengals aren't favored is because they haven't been healthy. And the last time they were much younger, they were in the Super Bowl. So I think that Super Bowl you just said, Lions-Bengals, would feed families. That would be a hell of a game. I would love to see that in New Orleans, too.
It'd be a fun one. I love me some Jamar, and like Cobb said, I mean, if they stay healthy, I think that tandem can take them very far.
All right, some good hot takes to start off season 2. So if you watched last year, we like it, we love it, we lock it in. We're actually only going to love it and lock it in this year. Some of the feedback was we got to keep it shorter, so we got 2 picks. Cobbs, who do you love this week?
Yeah, we're going to save your time and save ours, more importantly. I love the Colts +3. Just talked about that division. I think everyone's writing off for the Texans. And I do like the Texans, but there's a lot of changes going on there. Diggs coming in. Some people think that guy's kind of a cancer. No comment, but I don't disagree. And also people forget the Colts were one dropped 3-yard pass away from Gardner Minshew stealing the Texans spot in the playoffs last season. Richardson back. Taylor's healthy. I think there's a lot to love about the Colts, and for good reason. They're at home getting points. I think it's going to be a great game. I can't really guarantee you either side who's going to win, but home team getting a field goal, I think that's too good to stay away from.
I do like the Colts in Indianapolis.
For my love it, I mean, this is a gross pick, to be honest with you. I do really love it. I'm taking the Vikings -1.5 against the Giants. I mean, the Giants are just the stink of the league.
That game's going to suck.
That is disgusting.
But it's a 1.5, and I mean the Vikings. Everyone just is not excited about Sam Darnold, but I mean they just got Aaron Jones, who should at least be competent in the running game, and they still have probably the best receiver in the NFL in Justin Jefferson. So I mean, this is purely a fading the Giants pick. I really don't have a whole lot of faith in the Vikings this year, but I think they can at least pull out a 2-point win against the Giants.
Yeah, that game could suck, but you could get a pretty awesome show of Neighbors and Jefferson low key. It just depends if either of those idiots can get them the ball. Who do you think people hate more, the Vikings fans for Darnold starting or Giants fans for Daniel Jones?
I think it's like a deep-seated hatred of Daniel Jones.
I agree. So, I think by far, actually, which is why I like your Vikings pick.
That actually is a disgusting pick. That's going to be the one game that like Siciliano or Scott Hansen and this game is still going on. Nobody gives a shit. Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors. That's all I got for that game.
It could be fun though.
Yeah, but
we're gonna go 1-5, and that's gonna be the hit.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, for my love it, I hate this. I hate it a lot. I hate to do it, especially with the jersey that we're wearing right now with the Laporta supporters. Lions are wearing black, but I do think that the Rams are going to cover +3.5. Again, hate to take that. I think it's going to be a very close game. Obviously, revenge game for not only Matthew Stafford, but for the entire team last year, going to Ford Field and losing the wild card division. Everybody was booing Kelly Stafford and the kids. We'll see what happens this year. I think the Lions still can pull it out. They win by a field goal. Rams cover 3.5. I hate it, but I love it.
I hate it, and I hate it. I think the Lions are going to roll with the Rams being down a starting tackle and potentially Jonah Jackson, and I don't know. We'll see, though. There could be growing pains in the new look Lions D. That's kind of where my faith is for them covering that spread. But after the way last year ended, dude, that place is going to be
it is on Sunday Night Football, too. It is actually going to be the most electric stadium in the NFL.
It's going to be louder than the playoff Rams game, I think, debatably. Probably not, because we're not going.
All right, on to the lock it in. Who we got?
The lock it in. I'm going with, against my other hometown team, I'm going with the Saints -4. They're playing the Panthers in the Dome in New Orleans. I just think the Panthers, I think they're going to be better. I could see them being like a 5-win team this year. I like the Canales hire. They've made improvements. But the Saints are the only team that's had like stability in that division. Like everyone's bringing in new coaches and running new systems. The Saints stayed the same. They run with Dennis Johnson. They were a 9-win team last year. They got Derek Carr, Kamara, and Olave all on the field at the same time. I feel like that did not happen a lot last year, at least with like Carr played a lot of games, but he was never really 100%. So I think a healthy Saints at home, more consistency through this offseason. I think they're going to win the game by a touchdown. I think Panthers will have a decent showing. Like it'll be not a terrible game, and there will be hope for Bryce Young and Panthers fans, but I just don't see them covering 4 in that first game.
Yeah, Panthers aren't good, but I think they could have a better year. Bryce Young, year 2.
I think they'll be better. That's not saying much. I mean, they were the worst team in the league last year.
True.
So. Yeah. Could definitely see shimmers of hope. Keeping a theme here with my lock it in, it's another nasty pick. The Chargers -3 against the Raiders. I mean, it's people have been writing this team off the entire offseason. I mean, they just got rid of all their pass catching weapons. And I mean, there was a whole debacle about who they're going to keep on defense, but they ended up keeping the premier players in Bosa and Khalil Mack. And, Josh Palmer has a possibility or an opportunity to step up and actually be the number 1. And, I mean, it's just going to be a well-coached team. No matter what, somehow Jim, right? Oh my God.
I have no idea.
It's John's running backs.
Yeah, it's John's running backs. But
we all know the Harbaugh you're talking about.
Yeah, loser in the khakis.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh somehow finds a way to just coach teams up very well, and I just don't see that trend stopping. I did read a blurb over the offseason that he absolutely loved Justin Herbert, and that was part of the reason why he came to the team. I feel like he'll be able to keep that offense moving, and I mean, the Raiders, I love the Antonio Pierce story, but they're not getting it done with Gardner Minshew. There's no way. Even you can't volume your way with Devontae Adams to being a good team. So I mean, I'm going to go with who I believe is the better coach team.
That game is, I mean, again, Antonio, there's a lot of storylines in that game, but I think the biggest storyline is that there's the tale of two Ice Spices in the backfield. We got Ozempic Ice Spice and J.K. Dobbins, and pre-Ozempic Ice Spice and Gus Edwards.
I like them both.
I don't think anyone cares about any of the storylines of that game, to be honest with you, but I do like the pick, Clark. I think Herbert's still a phenom, and I'd actually maybe take the under in that game, though, because Harbaugh loves to run the ball.
That's why I was a little bit scared to take Herbert in fantasy this year, because who knows what Harbaugh's offense will look like. But I'm sure it'll win football games, but fantasy points, who knows?
The number's low. I think the over under on that's like 41.5. So
yeah,
they're begging people to take the over. I've not touched that over.
I'm going ahead and locking in the Cardinals plus 6.5 against the Bills. I think this is a really good comeback spot for the Cardinals. The Bills always have really high expectations, and Kyler Murray is back. He's fully healthy. He's had a full season. Call of Duty doesn't get released until October. And then he's got weapons. Marvin Harrison Jr. As his obviously premier wide receiver. Plus 6.5. I think it's in Arizona. So I got this tip from Josh. Shout out Nagorski's brother. But Cardinals plus 6.5. He gave me this pick in like May of this year. So we're riding it as a lock it in. Our number one fan, probably, also.
Yeah, him or Randy. But shout out Josh, because I love the Cardinals, like, low-key going into this year. Their schedule's tough, but I feel like they're going to be, like, high dogs, like more than a field goal underdogs a lot. And they weren't bad last year. Remember when they just routed the Cowboys?
Dude, they beat the Eagles. I mean,
they won good games with, like, Josh Dobbs playing QB.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the Bills this year. Like, I just said Josh Allen MVP. I think they're going to win the East still. But I think 6.5 is a lot of points for a team with that kind of firepower. I like that pick.
Yeah, we didn't mention T. McBee either. I mean,
yeah, I was waiting for someone. Or you heard of Elf on the Shelf?
Who is that?
What about Dortch on the Porch, dude?
Oh, I heard about Dortch on the Porch.
Yeah, this guy's been going crazy and he's getting more hype than Marvin.
T. McBee, Trey McBride, Greg Dortch?
Greg Dortch.
Greg Dortch. G-Rag gets head
He's
all day.
5'7", but he can still catch a goal line fade route.
Kyler Murray's 4'7". He can still throw touchdowns and run all over the place. All right. We love that. We locked it in. I mean, I think it's going great so far, boys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And, if you haven't already subscribe right the fuck now. And we're going to get Propalicious to finish out the show. We're going to get Propalicious just like last year. We're going to go with an anytime touchdown prop. I'll kick it off. I don't have a lot of analysis on this one. I just am closing my eyes and I'm picturing a goal line touchdown to Jake Ferguson. A nice wide open pass in the corner of the end zone, 5-6 yards out. That's all I got. Jake Ferguson, he's plus 240 to score a touchdown.
I like that. It's hard to run the ball in the goal line against the Browns.
That too.
Action. Not bad. This used to be a chalky pick, but we just talked about how abysmal this game's going to be. I'm going Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown, plus 145. I think if you would have got a line on him like that week 1 last year, you would have taken out equity on your house. Like we just said, the game's going to be gross. They're going to be like, we got to get something going. Darnold can chuck it. I mean, I don't care if he's good or not, but he can chuck it. He's been in the league a long time.
7th-year bump. That's what they're saying.
He's going to trust his best player on the field. There's not really anyone in the Giants secondary. He's going to score a touchdown. It's plus money. It's too good to not take it.
Hawkinson's out too. So really, what other weapons does he have?
Yeah, Addison's hurt as well, I believe, right?
Either that or DUI. He's probably drunk.
I think he's both. I mean, I don't know if he's playing.
Definitely won't be running straight routes, that's for sure. But I do like that. I mean, if someone's gonna score for that team, it's gonna be Jefferson. So my anytime touchdown score is Anthony Richardson anytime. I mean, the dude is just a freak. I mean, as soon as they get close to the goal line, I think teams are going to be keying on Taylor, and I think Steichen's going to be able to find a way to get some kind of a read option going, maybe a bootleg pass, and he's definitely going to run one in.
Do you think they told him at all, like, yo, you need to stop running or slide or like not get hit?
No,
because you got
3 weeks ago, I read this on Twitter 3 weeks ago. The game plan is to not stop that at all. So
if he can stay healthy, he will act like a dog. But I mean, he got banged up last season from just running all the time.
Just slide and get out of bounds. 2 games. It's not that hard. Just slide and go out of bounds.
Slide in the end zone. We cash Clark's anytime prop. So. All right, that's the show. We are going to have the Immaculate teaser back next week. We haven't seen enough yet to be immaculate, but we're going to have it back next week, and it will be immaculate. Cobbs, Clark, thank you for joining. Thanks for a great episode 2.1.
Go Lions.
Yeah, Lions. Lions Super Bowl. I think we're all on that.
Again, follow us, subscribe, and come back next week for 2.2. Lock it in.